Hello and welcome to Paper Plays Julie K.
Thanks so much for stopping by, everybody, and today I'm excited to share another design team project for AngeldreamCraftsKim. And again, Angel Dreams Crafts is a store on Etsy owned by Kim, and she sells beautiful laces and trims, bling, embellishments. She's now carrying paper and some flowers, which I think is really fun. And if you open up that description box below, I do have links for Kim's store, so it's easy for you just to click on that link and you can hop over to her Etsy store and purchase some of the items that I am sharing with you today on my project. I also have links for her Instagram and Facebook groups, which are also really fun to subscribe to because you kind of get to see some of the product as it's being put into the store when you check out those two social media sites. I also have links for all of the other ladies who are on the design team, and I know that they would love to have you check out their projects and their channels. And I also have links for some of my past design team projects for Angel Dreams Crafts. So you can also check those out because I would love to have you watch some of those videos if you've missed them the first time I posted them. And then the other item I wanted to mention real quick before I get into my actual design team project is that Kim does offer free shipping for those of you in the US if you spend $35 or more. And I think that's a great deal. I've taken advantage of that several times from her store. She has so many fun laces and trims. And she does do her best to get some of the popular ones back in, but she is a very popular store, so she does sell out pretty fast. So my recommendation always is if you see something you like, put it in your cart and buy it right away because she does sell out of some of her popular stuff really fast. And for today's project, I was really excited. In my design team package, I received a couple of her Kilt Pins, which are these right here, and they're so fun to add a piece of material and decorate with laces and trims and pretty things. And so that's what I chose to do for my first project this month. And I love these pins for several reasons. I like to use them in Happy Mail when I send Happy Mail out. Sometimes I will wrap people's packages in, or things I've made, and I'll wrap them in material or lace, and then I'll use these decorated pins to attach onto the bag or the doily or the material that I use. I also love using these on little canvas tote bags just to decorate them up. I have a friend who I gifted one of these to, and she carries just a small little canvas tote bag, and she hangs her pin on that I gifted her. And I have another friend who I gifted one of these to, and she actually hangs it on her winter coat. So those are just some ideas on how you can use these pins if you were to pick some of those up in her store. And so I did create two of them because I did receive two of the pins in my design team package. And one of them is a little bit of a Christmas theme, and the other one's just kind of more of a general theme. But they both are very shabby chic and so much fun. And so I will start with this one. And I do have some remnants left over of some of the trims that I use, so I'll be sure to show you guys that. So with this one, what I did start off with is a piece of a little bit heavier cotton material that I did wrap over the pin, and I did sew it straight across just so that it wouldn't come off. And once I did that, I did go set about decorating it, and I started off with this beautiful sheer embroidered trim that Kim's carrying in her shop. It's really pretty. A lot of times this one is fun for making flowers, but I decided to use it as a base layer on my pin. And so I'm showing you the back side because you can really see how I started this off. And I did this on both the front and the back side. And I just layered it up. And so I started that way. And then also on this side, but again, because I did add more decorations to it on the front, you aren't going to see that. But that is my background piece. And then I did edge it in some braided trim. I used some that I had received from Kim in her shop, this white trim up here. And then I used a little bit from my stash. Just because I used almost all of this on this project and I didn't have quite enough, so I had to dip into my own stash because I do like to also edge these so it has a nice side finish on it, and this braid trim is perfect for that. She also does carry it in pink too. And so I did use the braid trim, and I have just this really small piece left. That's all I have left, so I wanted to show you guys that. And once I did that, I also then went ahead and added some dangles to it. And I have, on this particular one, I have two sets of dangles. Kim often has some flower dangles, Venice flower dangles in her store, and she carries a couple different styles, but this is what this one particular one looks like. It's really pretty. And I think I still have some of that one left here. And I'll show you guys that one a little bit up close so you can see it a little bit better. You can see I cut off part of it there. But here's what it looks like in its full entirety right there. It's such a fun and beautiful trim to work with. And there's the flower border up top and then the flower dangles down below. This one's also a fun one to cut up into snippets and use it in your junk journals too if you are into junk journaling. And so you can see I used a little piece down here of that. And once I added that, I did add some bling from Kim's store. And then also some flat back pearls on top of all the little flowers. And underneath that, you can see a little bit of that sheer embroidered one. And then under that, I had some of this beautiful fringe lace that also came from Kim's store. I bought this a while ago from her store. I'm not sure if she still has any left in her store, but hopefully she'll get some more back in. But she did carry that in like kind of a vintage coffee color, this white and the pink. And I know when she had it in her store, I bought all 3 of them just because I love that fringe trim. But it just so fun to use on projects like this. And it's just kind of a nice back layering piece, that fringe trim. So I added that. And then on top of that, next I added this beautiful pink applique, and it's a larger applique, and this was just one small portion of it. I am using the other part of this applique in my second design team project later this month, so make sure you come back and check that out. I've already glued it down, otherwise I would show it to you on my other project just so you could see, but it was quite a large applique. And I added a couple more flat back pearls, and then Kim does carry these beautiful little glass cabochons in her store. She's had all sorts of wonderful ones. There's rose ones, there's shabby ones. In the past, she's had some vintage women and also some fairies also. And so for this one, I did choose this kind of a shabby rose one. It's really pretty. It just kind of brought out the highlights of this color pink applique. And then once I added that, I had some flowers in my stash. I received this one from Ivy Ling a little while ago, and so I added that. And then I had these other 2 little flowers. They kept on floating around my desk, so I just went ahead and added them up in the corner just to kind of finish off this first pin. But I really love how this turned out, and especially love this embroidered lace and using that kind of as a nice base layer. Usually I use that type of trim for making flowers, but it was really fun to use it in a different way and just use it as a base layer on my project. So there is my first one that I made, and then here is my second one. And I did decide to go ahead and create kind of a Christmas themed one. I know it's still a little early for Christmas, but the other day I was in the mood to create something Christmas themed. And so I did have this fabric image of a little angel, and so I kind of started with that. And I started the same way with a piece of material wrapped over the kilt pin. And on this one, I was trying to figure out what kind of base layer trim I wanted to use. And hopefully that shows up on the camera. But I did go ahead and use this trim, which was really fun. I never thought about using the dangle trim as a base layer. But I did end up using this one. And it was so pretty on top of the white material. And so that's why you see this whole little section cut up here, because I did use that part to layer on to my base layer. And it just makes the prettiest little base layer. And so I just kind of pieced it together. I did it a couple of times on the front and the back, and I did the same thing on the front side, except on the front side I did also use a couple of the flowers from the top part right here. And added some flat back pearls in the middle. And then on this one, you can see that I did add some of that pink braid trim. And I have a little bit of that left to show you from her store. It's a really pretty pink. It's definitely a very shabby pink. It's just the perfect shade. And let's see, then also on that one, I have a couple other dangle layers. Underneath the image, I have this dangle layer, and I have a little bit of that left. That one came from this trim right here. And I have this little Venice lace right here as a dangle layer. And I have a little bit of that one left too, actually, quite a bit that I could do another project with that one. But this is a really fun one. This one I love cutting these up into little snippets. This one's a perfect snippet one, but it also is a dangle layer. And then again, I used some more of that fringe trim behind there. So that one has a couple different layers. And so once I did that, I went ahead and added my image. I do usually do my images on top of felt. It just layers it up slightly so that they sit up and it makes it easier to layer around. And then the other beautiful trim from Kim's shop that I used is this Tulle Lace that has polka dots in it. And now she is carrying some double layer tulle. And I think she has it in a couple colors, pink and maybe like kind of a vintage white or ecru type color. I can't remember what she calls it in her store, but that one's also beautiful, and you could do the same thing with that one wrapped around here. And then I went ahead and wrapped down some pearls around the image, and I know she was carrying some pearls in her shop. I don't know if they still are, but she also carries rhinestone chain, which you could also do the same thing with. So I did that with, wrap that around the image. And again, Kim sells some of the best bling in her shop, and check that bling out right there. Isn't that beautiful, that little crown with the pearls and the rhinestones? So I knew I had to use that on this project. And so I added that there. And again, Kim was selling some flowers from her shop. And so these 3 flowers right here are some of the ones that she was carrying. And I have one left of each one of those. So I wanted to show you guys those up close so you could check them out. And I just had some leaves left over from a past project, so I went ahead and added those. And then I added some flat back pearls from my stash just to kind of finish it up. But I think that is everything that I wanted to show you guys on this kilt pin. So this one turned out really cute too. I'm not quite sure which one's my favorite. I like both of them for different reasons. And then I did pull out just some of the other bling I had still sitting on my desk when I was trying to figure out what I wanted to do on these. Just show you some of the other bling that she carries in her shop. This one's really pretty with the little heart on it. And I'm going to use this one on my next design team project later this month. Here was that crown one. And then here I had this one with the pearl in the middle. She also has the ones with the rhinestones in the middle. So I wanted to show you guys that. And then here is another one of the little glass cabochons that she has. This one has 2 roses, and there's, I think, a little blue and pink butterfly in that one. So that one's kind of a fun one. And then she also carries this one in her shop. I know when she sells out of this one, she usually gets this one back in again because this one's really popular. This one's a really fun one, and I used this one on my design team project last month on one of my, I think it was the notebook. I added this one to the composition notebook that I created. So I wanted to share those, guys. And again, I do have links listed below for Kim's shop, but I do have a little business card here too. So if you wanted to write it down that way, you guys easily could. But just open up that description box and you'll find the link and you can click on it. Thanks again, everybody, so much for watching today. Don't forget to open up that description box to check out all of the links that I've talked about earlier. And I hope to see you back later this month when I have another project to share with you guys. It will be another really fun one with laces and trims and bling on it. So until that next time, have a wonderful day and happy crafting.